News on the XRP front is hot and heavy, a lot happening in the space, and I think this is going to be a very interesting weekend to watch the XRP token, but also kind of set back and enjoy what might be unfolding before our very eyes. Could be one of the most important things that has happened in crypto to date. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. Today we're going to dive into it very deep on XRP. We have a good show lined up for you. I think one, kind of painting the picture of where this case has come from, what this means to crypto in general, and also just some speculation as to where the direction may flow, especially if you kind of follow the Hansel and Gretel trail that we're going to paint for you guys today. So there's a lot of that. I want to get into it. Of course, I want to thank our sponsors. That's Bybit today, one of our channel sponsors. And of course, all you have to do is jump over to the Bybit website. You'll be able to get 0 fees on all spot pairs over there. So just use our link in the description below. They have a lot happening over there, as well as a variety of different tokens. You can kind of see some of the new tokens that you guys have probably been tracking. If you're a big altcoin or degen out there, then Bybit might be a spot for you. In addition, they've got, of course, derivatives, spot trading, as I said, 0 fees on that, NFT and Bybit.Earn also available. So make sure and use the link below, and it really helps the channel out. Let's get into it today. Let's talk a little bit about where it's going from a standpoint of XRP as a whole. I want to jump to, and I've got a whole lineup of tweets here that our research team has put together, and I think it's going to give you a, if you're new to our channel, maybe you're new to XRP and you're thinking, I hear about this, this token, and it's notorious. What's going on? I talk to people, that have invested in it. And the backstory is very simple. XRP was sued by the SEC. It was presumed to be a security. A lot of scenarios that the SEC alleged were happening by its founders, Garlinghouse and so on. And then essentially put all the token holders of XRP on notice when they filed the suit, and essentially XRP was pulled from all the exchanges. We saw price suppression worldwide on the token. And of course, XRP itself went to battle. And over that, it's been a very long run. We'll kind of run this out. But the core thing is that what we're about to reveal to you today could be the basis to, one, not only, I don't think in a way to protect crypto, but it definitely is going to put a flag in the ground for crypto regulation going forward. Because and I understand the government forgets its bad parts very quickly, but I don't know that the constituents around the world are going to let this one slide just because of the mass amount of negligence that was put forth within this. So first tweet here, Brad Garlinghouse celebrating Ripple's 10-year anniversary at their all hands today. Now, an interesting time for this. I mean, here you've got all these things happening, and this was just yesterday at 5 p.m. So, and we're not talking about, this is like all of the key Ripple members. So this is an interesting gathering when I look at why would you gather around this kind of thing? Is there maybe a secret celebration going on right now with Ripple? We'll show you why. Second up here, I want to show you a rundown of just how extensive this case has been over the last year and a half, and just how much has gone under the bridge in terms of communication that's been revealed, discovery evidence. And you guys can go research this. It's just so extensive, but this is a good spot to try to take a look at this. As you can kind of see, just a rundown here. Goes all the way back into 2017. With emails, Clayton agrees to rescue himself from voting on any matter related to his law firm Sullivan Cromwell. Clayton, the former SEC chair, head, and all the way into 2018, you see Lubin emails, etc. Novogratz is coming in, close friends with Lubin, says he'll bet dimes to donuts the SEC will declare present-day Ether not a security. The speech is 9 days away. This was the infamous speech at the Yahoo Business Center that basically put Hinman and the SEC really in a bad spot. And I think, for whatever reason, they just not good tactical maneuvers, and it does and is starting to showcase out. Of course, this all came from a tweet, as I said, that was flowing in from this one right here. Brad talking about the SEC. You want to think that it cares about disclosure, transparency, etc. Don't believe them. When the truth eventually comes out, the shamefulness of their behavior will shock you. I don't know that anybody will really be shocked around this. Alderati there, he's one of the attorneys for XRP. We have the Hinman docs, internal SEC emails, drafts on the infamous 2018 speech. That's the one I was talking about. And it remains confidential at the SEC's insistence. And I can say that it was well worth the fight to get them. So we put this up yesterday and last night over in our mastermind, kind of talking about what was happening, some sentiment movements on XRP. And we did anticipate that we would see maybe some more price movement. I think we may still see that occur. There are some sentiment things that we'll get to towards the end of the show today. Make sure and smash the like button because it does help. I think other people who are starting to educate themselves in crypto and start to really understand this. But if you want to go find this this detail right here, you can kind of take a look at it. So right here is the SEC's, kind of zoom this down right there. This is the Ethereum Free Press. I love this. The good thing about crypto is it is forever amusing and always fun to watch. Here was the tweet right there, 18 months coming in from Stuart Alderati. I just showed that, but it kind of shows you the core there of what he's talking about. And again, I think this is just one of those scenarios that with the legal team that, remember, we've talked about this many times on the show, is that the legal team for XRP is not a slouch. These are former SEC people. They've been in and out of the federal system for quite some time. They understand how these maneuvers work, and I think it has been a very good position for XRP, and it has really kind of put them in a position to win this case just because of the maneuvers. They knew what to ask for. They knew how to go get it in discovery, and those are the kind of things that you have to have in a federal case like this. So again, this right here is Gardening House just to reaffirm. He's basically, I'm still stunned by this statement right here. Just that right there. Let me highlight that. Just that right there alone makes me think that whatever we're about to see in these Hinman documents that are going to be released, maybe to the public, if in fact it does happen. So I still speculate that we may not see those because there could be still a settlement in the back rooms being orchestrated right now, because if it does get released, it could really implicate the SEC in some very bad and wrongdoings over all of this. So not a good one. Here's a tweet coming in from John Deaton. And again, our team has been putting together, toiling the hours this morning, trying to track down exactly where all of this is coming from. We're doing all the work for you guys, hopefully helping you kind of get to that next level. But John says, and you guys know we've had John on the show many times, friend of the channel here. I haven't read the SEC's opposition to Ripple's summary judgment because it's not filed yet, but after reading Ripple's and knowing that the amicus will say, I don't believe the SEC will be granted a judgment at all. The biggest danger is now the judge says that a jury must decide the facts. Now, I don't know. I still don't think, because if you look at the judge's one push to the SEC, the concern, and again, the amount of discovery evidence that the judge is getting privy to, if I'm a federal judge, I start to look at this and go, come on, really? This is, you're starting to flex in a system and waste all of our taxpayer money doing something like this, and these shenanigans continue on, and then boom, I think we're going to see a judgment here for sure. But I do agree with John. You just have to be cautious at this point because it still may occur. So it's something that we have to be aware of. This is coming over from Fred Rispoli. And if you guys don't know who this guy is, he is one of the guys that has been really kind of focused on this case for quite some time. So first point is that the SEC Gov appears to be entering the final stage of grief acceptance. I'm surprising it did not request an appeal on the email issue because that was a free automatic delay, just asking the ultimately not even question. So I think that will be interesting. He goes on in a lot of this. Filing a brief and risking bad precedent would have brought an extra 30 to 60 days. Yes. And again, this is the kind of dancing that occurs in these federal cases. It does slow cases down, spends a lot more of our taxpayer dollars in doing these kind of things. So quite a bit going on here. And then you even see that MSJ or even Ripple asking for permission to file a supplement to its opposition just posted today, 10/20, although he says that them being included in the reply, procedural, a lot of this, but I don't want to get into kind of the scenario of what could have happened and maybe how they misstepped in a few of these things. But again, maybe the SEC privately and secretly wants this thing to end softly and quietly. Maybe. I don't know how that's going to happen. You've got a tweet here, right here. Think about it. If the Ripple wins the SEC lawsuit, only Bitcoin and XRP will be safe from any future SEC prosecution. Now, this is a big statement because this is something that we've talked about before. If they actually get through and there is a ruling from the judge, this changes the course of Ripple's focus. And I think Ripple, from a standpoint of kind of going to the next level, there's some things we'll show you today. I think they've already made the steps to do that. And then I want to look back and just show you the creativity that happens out there in the ecosystem of XRP. By the way, if you're in the XRP army right now, smash the like button. Make sure and put some comments over on the side. We'll try to get to some questions as well. But listen, look at this nice little cut up right here. And I'll just play a few seconds of it.
XRP community that are trying to invent this grand conspiracy that there was blatant corruption between the insiders at the SEC and Ethereum. And, I don't honestly think that that's the issue here. I don't honestly think that that's the issue here. This grand conspiracy.
Like, Charles, don't do that. When you say that, all those people that send a message to Congress, it's undermining them. When Empower Oversight, which doesn't own XRP, owns no crypto, has nothing to do with John Deaton, when they fight for transparency in our government, they sue the SEC, expend time and resources, catch the SEC in a lie, get 1,200 emails that conclusively prove that Bill Hinman violated the law. It's not an allegation, people. It's a fact. Okay?
Interesting things happening out there on the interwebs these days, for sure. And I think this just goes to show you what we get in a chronicle of what happens in something that's so public. Just remember, guys, when you're putting out tweets, when you're putting out posts, nothing is safe, nothing is sacred, especially if you're making, assumptions. Now, if you put it in a way that you can kind of back away from it, if you don't have all the facts, those kind of things. But I think Charles kind of got in a little bit of a twist right there. Charles Koskinson, of course, one of the key guys over at Cardano. Here's a tweet also. How do you flip the switch? XRP, the U.S. needs to wake up and get their you-know-what together. Listen to this clip from Kevin. Let's go to Larry. Let's go to that one.
But there's a pause for policy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never has the anticipation been higher than it is now. Everybody is getting bored with the status quo. And the U.S. has to wake up and get its poo-poo together and start regulating this stuff. So I'm not in the camp that says we need to place the original founders of crypto and decentralize and let's fight the government. Screw all that. We know that that's not going to work, and we know that no one's going to make any money if that's the case. That's a bad outcome. The better outcome is regulate the applications on the chains that should be regulated. The policy exists for some of it. Put policy out on stable coins first. I hope that we consider Bitcoin and other token-based opportunities commodities. If there's, if we're going to fractionalize NFTs, maybe there are securities. There's all this stuff. But right now what we have is turf wars. Turf wars between the regulators. Openly declaring turf wars with each other right this morning on CNBC. No, it's my domain. No, it's my domain. Of course they want to control it. But at some point, the role of the Hill and Congress is to decide.
Amen. Right there. Role of Hill and Congress is to decide. It's not about going out there and essentially running into all these measuring contests. This is a problem that we've had for quite some time, but we are entering one of the most sacred moments in the history of financial systems in the world. And what I mean by that is it's opening up what could be the guidebook for the next 3, 4, 5 decades of growth, not only here in the United States, but globally around the blockchain ecosystem that's going to occur, including Bitcoin and all the others, and what that might look like, especially from stablecoin aspects and all that. And I agree with Kevin, it is a situation right now where there are a lot of turf wars within the SEC, et cetera. I would say this, though, people, is that I think there's also a lot of turf wars inside our own community. And this is something that I feel like right now is a time in which everyone needs to kind of come together in the sense of having one vision. And at the core, I think all the people that I talk to, from Bitcoin maxis to altcoin degens, to people who are just getting into crypto, people who have never been in crypto and are thinking about it, the one thing that always seems to be consistent as a thread is that this gives an opportunity to the little guy, it gives the opportunity to the young person, and it does something in terms of empowering our financial system that has never been done before, and they recognize that. For us to all recognize that and then yet continue to just have these squabbles over situations of ETH maxi, or Bitcoin maxi, altcoin degens, you know, all these kind of things, and everybody's saying, oh, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. The reality is we're all in the same boat. And I think Ripple is out there, unfortunately, having to lead the charge with a very ragtag army. Imagine the power. Imagine what the XRP army has done just in kind of surfacing a lot of this stuff. Imagine the power that the entire crypto army, the Veracians, the Cardanians, I feel like I'm talking about space rebels, but you've got all of these massive communities that just are so ingrained in their own stuff, they forget about the greater vision of what crypto and blockchain is here to do. So I think that is one of the biggest problems that we've got to get past. And the way you do it is you get to your congressman, your senator, and you start communicating. And when those communications are the same, people start to realize very quickly what's happening. Here's Tom Emmer, good example. A new investigation into Gary Gensler's regime at the SEC found that the peak staff, this is terrible, occupancy across all SEC buildings this year has averaged more than a mere 7% of people in all these offices. Why are the taxpayers funding hundreds of millions of dollars of FCC office space when no one's even showing up to work? This is the beauty of a federal government that's going out there right now. So again, getting in behind and into the system, I think, like what the XRP army has had to do kind of on their own, is fight the man. And, fortunately, they have a great team. They also had a very resilient founders and project, being Ripple, that just would not let go. They were like a bulldog or a junkyard dog in a backyard, just would not let it go. Here's Brad Garlinghouse. The SEC wants you to think that it cares about disclosure, transparency, and clarity. Don't believe them. When the truth eventually comes out, the shamefulness of their behavior will shock you. Again, back to that point. I'm just very blown away by these kinds of results. And I've been in business, 25 years, and I see some pretty crazy stuff. But when I see something at this level, I have before, this kind of corruption, this basically contempt for the American people and the American taxpayer it just continues to prove that we've got a long way to go right here. I like it. Man, people just going on. Here's one little tweet. XRP started, powered by Starlink. I love it. The tweets here were pretty amazing. So this is another speculation of how things might play out here. So again, what we're going to present to you today is a lot of findings from a lot of researchers and sleuths, a lot of documents, things of that nature, but it is a market mover, and market movers are very simple. We present all these things for you guys to kind of go assess your own understanding of the project. So just make sure, remember, it's not investment advice. So this was sent to me, this right here, by Short Squeeze 8, and there's a closed door meeting, supposedly, with the SEC and Ripple tomorrow. This, of course, was just tweeted out. And then also just got wind that there is key rumors of a settlement. Now, this would be interesting because this could be real in the sense that we know that the Hinman emails have now been turned over. So we know that from the attorneys on the Ripple side. All that came out yesterday and last night. If you were following me on Twitter, we were talking about this. I was doing back and forth with our research team last night, and we were finding just crazy scenarios playing into this. If they don't want those emails to be released on Monday, if in fact we get a release for those, it's very possible we could see some very emergency closed door meetings. Which, how would that play out? If I was in the SEC's case, it would be, we're willing to come to a settlement. Just don't release them. We'll have the settlement agreement drawn out over a period of maybe it's 2-3 weeks. They're going to work out how those, how that dialogue and that copy needs to be done, because that's going to be a very key settlement agreement. And a lot of the language that goes into it could also set a course for the future of crypto. So just be cautious. That settlement agreement could also be very interesting. Here's some very key dates right here. I want you to think about these. October 18th, obviously we know the parties all filed materials relating to the opposing summary judgment. All that's been done. You got October 20th, parties met. Redactions have been done. October 24th, that's Monday. Parties file public. This is the public redacted versions of the opposition briefs, making those provisions redactions requested by the parties during the meet and the conference there. And then you got November 15th. They filed the summary judgment reply briefs temporarily under seal. This is probably one of the key dates right here. 17th, they confer, and then the 21st, they file public again, making those provisional redactions. And then December 9th, the omnibus motions to seal all materials related to the summary judgment, including briefs, and this is coming under a rule that they've talked. John and I have talked about that before as well. And then December 22nd, right before the end of the year, parties file oppositions to those motions, if it ever gets to that point. Now, there's a lot happening around that too. That could this be the end? Here's Jeremy Hogan, another attorney who has been tracking this case relentlessly with Deaton and a handful of others. But he also reports here that the briefs are scheduled to be made public next Monday. But last month, the SEC ignored that deadline and filed it a day early. And so be on the lookout anytime Sunday or Monday for those to drop. So just be looking for that. After that, there's just one more brief, and that's on the November 15th date, like we just showed. And then we're basically done. And at that point, the judge could go into, if there isn't a potential settlement agreement, could go into full function mode and say, all right, we're done with this. This one's done. And get it off the docket, stop spending our taxpayer dollars and draining the SEC of their so valuable time on this. Here you've got an interesting tweet, Ripple Crypto Needs Business. This is an interesting array. I'm going to show you an array of ads and videos and all sorts of things here. Forward? So they got, they've started an ad campaign. You can kind of see. And that it doesn't stop there. Let's go over here and scan over into the next tweet. Here you've got it in other places. Turnstiles. Then you go right there, crypto business. This is in London, right here, Ripple. So again, more action on the advertising front. What are they up to here? Then you've got this escalator ad all happening. Advertising in London. This is underground Canary Wharf station. This is insane. Look at that. Despite the lawsuit turbulence, obviously Ripple's still in full steam ahead. And again, Ripple has often gone to the mat in terms of they're continuing to market, they're continuing to build their business plan, they're continuing to do partnerships around the globe. The minute this obviously turns positive here in the United States, I think Ripple starts to really engage a lot of companies. And it's funny. XRP. This is funny. All on board. There's XRP taking off. Boom. This is, if anything, when you grab popcorn on a late Friday evening as you're watching this, maybe after our live stream, which, by the way, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you'd catch these live streams like this. You'd be ahead of everybody else if you set those notifications up. Now, be aware that sometimes even when you hit those little bells, that it doesn't notify you of everyone. So always check back and make sure that you're notified of the live streams. We do 2 a day. We try to keep on that schedule throughout the week. And then occasionally we'll drop some recorded videos, but for the most part, you guys can catch that by just subscribing to the channel, and you'd be ahead of everybody else. But hopefully you're enjoying your popcorn there on this Friday evening, if that is the case. Here's another one right here. A new sidechain coming out right here. Ethereum and XRP working together, world domination. Imagine being an ETH hater and not being able to enjoy this amazing news and work. That's pretty cool. Let me play this for you guys.
XRP Ledger sidechain that we have developed from PureSys technology together with Ripple and compatible with EVM. Join us to see what this means. Thanks to the operability of smart contracts.
Just so you know, these guys are not advertisers. Nobody's asked us to put this out. Nobody has given this information. This is all our own research, just so you guys know.
The EVM sidechain uses XRP as its native token. You don't need to use any other currency to access. Built with the powerful Tendermint protocol and carefully customized for XRP Ledger, it allows to achieve around 1,000 transactions per second using the Ethereum virtual machine. Easily move your XRP and assets between the XRP Ledger and the EVM sidechain thanks to the new bridge. It is very easily accessible thanks to MetaMask and Exum Wallet and allows fast and secure interoperability between both networks. Check all your transactions with the Explorer that we have created for the network. And have control of all your assets.
Full sidechain. Crazy. This is going to be unreal.
Created by PureSys in collaboration with Ripple. DevNet, available
Very
now.
interesting stuff out there. Lots of innovation happening in the space, guys, and we've talked about this before on the show, is that when we have these bear markets like this, watch. This is so key for you to be in at the right time. If you're new to crypto and you're thinking, hey, how did everybody else catch that wave up to 60, 8,000, 69? How did they do that? And then how did people catch the Cardano wave up to $3, the Avalanche, the Solana, all those things that made a lot of people a lot of money in this last bull run. A lot of people got wrecked on the backside coming down. Many people came in at the top. Those are typical market conditions. The difference is this, and this is something that I don't think people understand. And if they do, they just don't take it serious. And it's you have to do the work. You have to go in when it's so hard to go in the market. For me, it's like investing in small companies. You hate writing that check, but you know that there's an opportunity here because we're in these kinds of times. And this is the opportunity that we're faced with right now. And watch, the key thing you have to do, watch the companies that are still innovating, that are still putting the gears in motion. Keep a close eye on those. Look at their dev teams, watch their management, keep an eye on their blogs, keep an eye on their social media, those kinds of things. If they're slowing down, it usually means the roadmap is either one, not there, or the runway is not there in terms of cash reserves for them to be able to sustain their business, which also would tell you the projects that won't make it out of this bull or out of this bear run. So be aware. Right now, most important time in your crypto and investing history is right now, because we're on the backside, what I think is the backside of a bear market, still moving into it hard, but we are getting ready to, I believe, see some opportunities that we just may not ever see again. So very interesting stuff. XRP continues to build too. And just as an example, here's the beta NFT marketplace. This just showed up this last couple of days, this little icon right here. And that opens up into this website right here, just to give you guys an idea. So they're putting the efforts in behind this. This is a true XRP platform. This could be the kind of NFT platform, say it kind of like the Magic Eden for XRP. This could be one of those things that really kind of flow out. So I think if you're interested in NFTs, start taking a look at it, because there are some cool stuff happening. Here's some other things that are happening within it. We are live on ASTheats. Let me play this one, just kind of show you guys. Unique artwork. So this is one of the creators, Discover Next Drops. You can kind of see all that. And then I think this is the just more from that phygital fine art component that we'll start to see. Again, more creativity. And NFTs are getting a lot of a bad rap, I think, right now in general, but and rightly so for some, okay? But there are some of these projects that are, especially in the gaming community and also even within the fine art, maybe in the fashion sector, that could really still hold on for a very unique time. This is a little bit more risky, but it is also, it could be the time in which we see some great opportunity as well. So it's one of those scenarios. Here's Balmain. There's a nice brand coming out there, of course, as well on XRP in terms of NFTs. So introducing the Balmain thread, our version for driving fashion into the Web3 future, imagined in collaboration with Mint Official and Ripple, all built on the XRP ledger. So there you go, Balmain thread. Cool stuff out here. And I think this is the thing that I talk about is innovation always has to be happening. And especially in these kind of times, by far one of the key things that has to occur for sure. Here you've got Expector, another project coming out here by Expector. This is, of course, on XRP. Ripple Ledger, for sure. So cool stuff happening out there. And I like this, I like this approach too, because we've seen the expansion within the ETH ecosystem, and even to an extent, we showcased Solana's ecosystem the other day, which was surprising to me how much they had continued to grow. But even more so, I think we're continuing to see that now with XRP. And remember, they have been suppressed. Ripple being suppressed, the potential there for the opportunity, and obviously a lot of the participants. I'm kind of curious, which of the exchanges do you think would try to front run this? Because whoever does it probably is going to see $1 billion in trading activities. What exchange might go out, front run this, and actually list XRP to the masses when this starts to get near its end, possibly already near its end? Just kind of curious which one you think might do it. Drop it in the comments below and smash that like button. It does help the channel, and it also helps others who are maybe just exploring in and have caught this live stream late, or maybe they caught this past our live stream and they're just really starting to research a little bit more about what is happening over on Ripple. So here's XLS 20 amendment set to go live on XRPL on Halloween. This is happening on October 31st. So the fix in motion NFTs are on the way. This is going to happen, and this is not something that might go on. This is the deadline being October 31st, so just a few days away for this one as well. Then you have Ripple revealing its second list of fund recipients to boost its NFTs on XRP. A lot of movement right here. Still announced its second lineup of 250 million creator fund recipients. This has got fan-focused Japanese NFT marketplace and a fee. You've got NFT sports platform, Capital Block. We're going to try to get this cross-metaverse avatar company on the show as well. Cypher's on there, quite a few. So again, more and more creativity. Always like these kinds of innovators or incubator projects, much like Disney's with Polygon, bringing Polygon in. Any of these that are major projects like this that are starting to culminate the best talent in the industry and get it to work on those chains and within those platforms, very critical. And we've seen a lot that kind of did that in the bull run, but we haven't seen as many do it now in the bear run. And to me, this is more important than any others. So very, very cool. Another one that you should watch, obviously you guys know about this, but Sologenic, we showcased this the last time we did a XRP. Just to show you right here, here's the 1 month on Sologenic overall, and still kind of holding out. So we may end up putting Solo on the CPI. We'll take a look at this one. We've got a few new tokens coming over onto the Power Index, so we'll be ready to go with a lot of these new ones, but nice moves there. So here's Equilibrium Games. So if you're looking at games going into a 2-week timer for the XRP NFT implementation has already started. If you like utility, you may want to bookmark Equilibrium Games. We should probably get these guys on the show too. NFT marketplace with focus on actual utility coming to the XRP ledger. So more games hitting, more continued. Here's a little bit of footage of one that's a work in progress, again on the XRP ledger. So it just shows you that I think the interesting thing is there's a lot of layer ones right now that might be getting some stuff sucked out from under them, in the sense that there could be developers, game projects, leads, all that kind of thing that could be rolling into a scenario where they start to really kind of go in that direction. So because right now it's a fight, and I've talked about this before. When you run out of money, if you're in a project and money starts getting a little tight, what happens, the natural thing is they reserve funds. And when they reserve funds, it means you're not hiring new devs, you need more graphic artists, more visualization people, more economic people from building economies inside the token architecture, all those kind of things. You start to cut corners. And when you start cutting corners, it showcases, and the next thing you know, when the race is back on, and we start seeing upward trends, who's out in front? It's all those companies that bit the bullet, spent the money on the right developer, built the right product, rolled and continued to develop regardless of what was happening within the market. And where are they? They're right there at the starting gate with a very fast racehorse. And that's something I think that people just forget in doing that. So kind of crazy stuff. All right, so one thing, I promised you guys some sentiment. We'll take a look at a couple of the tokens today and see how that is going. I know we have a poll as well. What's the poll look like today? Let's take a look. All right, so will XRP be listed before the court case is settled? Some people think yes. So it's interesting too, 61% no. It's interesting because I think the one thing that's evident with all the exchanges, they're greedy. They're going to do stuff to make money. And I mean, they have to right now because their balance sheets are in pain. So they've got any opportunity, any glimmer of hope that can get into raising the trading volume, escalating user growth, anything that could help that on any one of the exchanges. Whoever moves first, grant my words, it's gonna be noticed in the industry, and they're probably another period. People that are exploring, people that went onto the exchange purely and simply for XRP. Interesting stuff, because I have, it's one of the tokens that I still today get more questions on. Where do I buy this? Because everybody wants to buy it when it can't be bought. So it's always fun to see and kind of gauge that in the industry. A lot of questions coming in. We'll get to some of those. Just a quick rundown here. Over on the CPI, which is our crypto power index, if you go to our website, you jump into this. If you're a member, you're going to get access to all these things, but I'll show you the XRP sentiment. These are all the tokens we track in the general crypto market. We also go into metaverse and gaming. So here's our gaming and metaverse. We're getting ready to add some new ones here. I think Audius is coming on, handful of others. We may end up adding Sologenic on here and a couple others, but let's go back to top crypto and then jump in here to XRP. And again, this is data from the week, and we've tracked this over time. You've seen that downtrend, a little bit of a snip right there on the 14th, and then continued down until here recently. Obviously, for this morning's numbers, we started to separate from the downtrend in the market, which is at 54.24, and both amplification and top-line sentiment are trending up for XRP right now, even though price action has not occurred. So is there a sign here that we may be looking at something coming soon? All right, let's get into some questions. Theo comes in. Adoption is what matters. Only chart that matters is adoption. Sol is king of that aspect. I would agree with you, Theo. Solana is and does have a pretty amazing adoption record. But XRP has been fighting with their hands behind their back. So I think this changes a lot of things within the ecosystem. I'm not saying Sol would take a punch in the essence of developers or users or people's interest, but there will be a certain amount of air that comes out of the crypto market when XRP is relisted for sure. And when I say air out of the current market as a whole without XRP participating. What layer one do you think could lose the most value to XRP? I think that it would probably be Avalanche Yeah, I think maybe AVAX is the one that would. I don't think and Solana maybe even just because of its power. Cardano, it's a different, it's a different animal. So I don't know. You can buy XRP on Ledger Live. Yes, you can. The front run. I like that one. Coinbase is 100% ready. You know who else is ironic? Is don't forget Robinhood has XRP in their listing. They have it in their app, so you can go analyze it. You can't buy it, but it's interesting. I don't know if Robinhood gets in there. Rafa comes in. Would be interesting if Ripple refuses a deal to expose the emails to public. Well, I think a lot of this, again, guys, this is all political. When you get down to this level of federal, there's things you do. Listen, you just want this case to end. You're spending money, you're losing opportunity, and the amount of that, as it portrays to others, at the end of the day, Ripple still needs to run their business and do their things. But it'll be interesting to see if those ever see the light of day. I just don't know that they will. Question for Paul: has your price prediction changed in your mind for XRP, considering the XRPL NFTs? Cross-border payments fully go live. Not really. I mean, it is still. Remember, there's a couple of things happening with XRP right now. Sure, there's going to be a little bit of a flush run if we saw a settlement, before the bear market ended. You're going to see little pumps, but just remember, guys, these little pumps are just that. They're small pumps. Unfortunately, timing-wise, I don't think this helps Ripple. It's going to be a pump, yes, of course. But for the longer holders, people that are looking at Ripple along with other tokens, these are really insignificant times because you're not trading out of those kind of tokens. You're waiting for the right time. And you're definitely past, I think at least you are, if you're listening to our show, you're past that capitulation stage and you're into that acceptance and the preparation for what you've got to do in terms of the work to be ready for next. Miles coming down. I'm thinking Elon likes Ripple case solely due to his justifiable hatred of the SEC. For sure. I mean, those are bedfellows. They've both had to go against the SEC for sure. Funny that Elon actually replied to Garlinghouse. Yes, that was a good one, right? Bill McDonald, all emails need to be released. No way these get swept out under the rug. I wish that was the case, Bill. But reality will set in. And big business and the power of the federal government and the sweetness of a good, sweet deal that is negotiated in that back room and cigars are passed out, a little bit of Kentucky bourbon. Did you guys know that if you make whiskey outside the state of Kentucky, you can't call it bourbon? It's not real bourbon. This is terrible. I don't know which bourbon you guys like, but which bourbon will you drink when XRP wins this thing? I know what I'm having. So if you guys ever meet me in public, the drink I like is Basil Hayden. It's a beautiful finish. It's an amazing bourbon, and it's one I love. But again, if you go with the rye route, which is outside of Kentucky, go to Whistle Pig. Now that one is up in, I think, Vermont, but amazing. Whistle Pig. Funny name, amazing rye whiskey. We should do a whiskey show. I don't know if you guys would like that. Price prediction for XRP. They want to win the court case. Yes, for sure. What puzzles me is the total lack of unity and space. That does it really puzzle you? I don't think that this puzzles me one bit. I continue to see this occur. B Sovereign comes in. Ripple owes a lot of gratitude to the XRP. I totally agree. The Twitter sleuth, John Deaton, digging up all this ETH case dirt for sure. And then gold membership. Ooh, never bet against the SEC? What have we got here? Do we have spies in our midst? Oh my, we may have government spies in our midst right here. Reach in. Welcome in, boys. Welcome into PPN. All right, so I don't know why the movement on the price after the news yesterday. I think it's still a little early. Not a lot of people have completely seen this out. Again, a lot of this is Twitter speculation, Twitter adjustments out there in terms of people grabbing documents from every which way. So you really have to do your research to kind of piece this together. Until this starts hitting the big news channels, and I say news channels meaning typical crypto, media, whether you believe some of the stuff, that comes out of those crypto media places, some of that is very questionable. Anyway, guys, we're going to do our 3 o'clock live here coming up. Make sure and don't miss that one. Put your flag on right there and hit the diamond circle. It's free. You can join in. You get access to some of our more deep level content, some more of my own analysis. We do a lot there, so check that one out if you guys want to catch me. It's over on Twitter @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.